Welcome to the latest edition of LinkedIn Live. I'm Rob Young, and today I'm joined by Jess Ho, Microsoft's go-to-market for customer experience, which also covers sales and marketing. Hi, Jess. How you doing?
Hi, hello. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. So, Jess, tell us. It's sort of tradition on the show that we talk about people's journey into the roles that they're currently in, what kind of path they took, whether that's education or other. Tell us what 14-year-old Jess was dreaming of, and the path that ultimately brought you to Microsoft and the role you're in now.
14-year-old Jess probably wanted to be a doctor. And then when I applied to university, when I got accepted, the university I went to didn't have a medical school. So I ended up kind of revenge, took courses and ended up with a double bachelor in engineering and business management. So that kind of actually is something that I felt was good for me because I ended up being able to go to both technology and kind of business courses, and that kind of led me to where I am now.
Fantastic. And what so did you go straight out of university into the working world? Did you go to a consultancy first, or were you straight into Microsoft?
Yeah, so I did a couple of internships, did some lab work, actually started my career doing marketing, but actually fresh out of uni, I went into consulting. I was in consulting for 10 years, did everything from like business analysis to digital strategy, like running development teams. And that gave me a lot of exposure to lots of different customers and industries and products, which was really interesting for me. It was a really cool part of my career.
And how did that end up leading to a career at Microsoft? You know, what was the trigger there?
So I always really enjoyed like speaking to customers and like looking at like all the different problems or opportunities they had. And I was always working in the space of like customer experience. And during the pandemic, I kind of just made the decision to kind of switch over and kind of experiencing from the actual like technology side. So really lucky. I had the opportunity to join Microsoft and joined in January. We suddenly launched Copilot, and it's been a really exciting journey since then.
Wow, yeah, what a time to join.
Yeah.
So tell us about your role. What is your role as go-to-market customer experience? What does it involve?
Yeah, so as part of my role, I get to like be the bridge between what some of our global strategy is in the US to what that actually looks like in the UK subsidiary, or what we call the field. So I work across both our sales teams, our partner teams, our marketing teams, and kind of just bring that to life and what some of the cool, exciting product announcements, how we actually go to market in the UK. So as part of that, I get to speak to partners like Infinity and have a conversation like today.
Fantastic. So talk to us about sales and marketing. So there'll probably be people listening to this that don't necessarily understand the product set. So Microsoft Dynamics front office business solution is called CE, and then within that there's modules, and two of those are traditionally they were called sales and marketing. Now, just to confuse things a little, the marketing element is now changed to customer insights.
Yeah.
So talk to us about those two products and fundamentally what do they do for businesses?
Yeah, so as you rightly said, like our customer solutions, there's modules in there, and we kind of align that with different lines of business, or say like business areas or units or functional areas. So sales, marketing, service is those products that we create to interface or work with the roles that would traditionally use them. So sales, for sales teams, that includes everything from managing your customer 360 view to like managing your relationships with your customers, pipeline opportunity tracking, forecasting. And then you come to marketing, where it's all about looking at your data, creating segments, turning those insights into messages to go into various like email, SMS channels, and so on. And of course, there's a third one called service, which is for customer service agents to manage cases, queues, customer complaints. So as you kind of said, the product name has changed, and there is a view of like as technology, data, and also AI is disrupting how the boundaries of these products are actually blurring. So with marketing, it is still very much for marketers, but the naming kind of implies that a lot of the programmatic marketing that is becoming much more important to what we do as marketers, how that name change reflects like what the direction of the product travel is going to be. Yeah.
Okay. So it wouldn't be right to have a conversation with Microsoft and not mention Copilot. It's already come up already a couple of times. So let's talk about how Copilot works in sales and then customer insights independently. So how does it work in the sales product?
Yeah, so overall, Copilot is there to be a helper, like an assistant to the user itself. It is, I would say, two things. One is to help you stay in the tool that you prefer and bring the data and information to where you like to work at. And the second is like where you are, then it starts to automate things and kind of make things more efficient. And all of that is about like saving time, helping you, stop you from moving different applications, helping you from getting insights faster, helping you do your job faster. So in translating that, what that Copilot would then mean for a sales role. So we launched Viva Sales, and again, name change. We launched Viva Sales about 2 years ago, where that was all about, helping you sync your Outlook data into CRM, and then also helping you draft kind of email responses in Outlook. And that has already evolved so quickly in the past 2 years, where now if you are in dynamic sales and you have Copilot panel expand out, it'll actually start looking at your data, helping you draft emails there, helping you look at next best action, helping you even look into white space. So very quickly from what was just, that first idea of bringing your sales data into Outlook, which a lot of sales teams prefer to work from, that is now, if you are in CRM, bring your other productivity information into there. And then once we unlock the wealth of data that your company may have, what that can do to do even kind of more intense insights, bringing that to your table and then helping you make decisions faster. So those are really exciting things in the sales role. For marketers, that's a little bit different. So marketers, you tend to have like a data analyst and maybe a content or marketer role. So for the Copilot functionality, those two roles, one would be helping you use natural language to query segments, helping you use natural language to create lookalike audiences. And on the marketing content creator side, that's using the generative AI capabilities to help you draft email copy. And some of the latest things that came out earlier in January were actually partnering with Typeface to actually create imagery inline as well. So super exciting. And again, that is the general strategy of where all Microsoft products are going. We're having Copilot in all of our products. And it is all about bringing data to where you prefer and making your job more efficient.
Okay, because we've actually been, we use sales ourselves and internally, as do we also use marketing for a few years now, and there's been some bits that have we've used specifically. So the predictive pipeline, I think, it's been around for about a year or so, 18 months, and that's really, really good. And obviously, the more data you put into that, but it analyzes behaviours of clients and then makes an assumption on whether it thinks pipeline's going to come in or not, or when it thinks it's going to come in. So that's a really cool tool. And also, I think what's really, really useful is the transcribing of calls when you're on sales calls, transcribes the calls, writes up the notes for you, and enables you to get back to that client a lot quicker than than you normally would. So yeah, they're really, really, really useful stuff. And I think one of the things as well, when I try and explain to clients the power of Dynamics as a whole, is the fact that the more work streams you can put onto the Dataverse, and then within Microsoft's the wider piece with M365 and Azure and the other product loads, it makes the Copilot so much more powerful, because when you're talking about your prompt engineering and analysing data, the more data it can access quickly and easily and securely, the better, and the richer the experience back to your client, to your point around querying that data. So yeah, we use it and see it all the time. So we talked earlier about the changes in marketing, and now called customer insights. Moving from outbound to real-time marketing, and the license change to include the CDP tool in a single license. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about that?
So, and I think just referencing what you just said earlier about like how you use it for Infinity yourselves, like we talk about Copilot and AI, I would say, as friends, but a little bit separate, because there's so much functionality that is not Copilot that we're still innovating on. And one of those, like you said, predictive kind of forecasting or whatsoever, that is not Copilot. That is traditionally AI capability that has been a tool for a long time. And those are still things that we invest in. And that's another example when we look at marketing, that not just Copilot, we are also investing in the core, what marketers need in their role. And that is kind of moving away from what is traditionally like you have a list, you put it in, and then you blast an email against it. We're moving into much more real-time, triggered-based, reactive type of marketing. And that's much more programmatic, much more faster, reactive, and scalable. And the other thing you kind of mentioned in your previous kind of, how Infinity uses is like, it's so much like Copilot or even AI is much more powerful once you connect with the data you have with M365 or Azure. That is the same kind of why this license change and the product can evolve to where it is now is, we didn't really have the data all connected together. That's why we needed lists. We extract it somewhere, you put it in, and then you review all of that and you click send. But once you've got your data connected as part of your database, you can react, you can build much more real-time experiences. And that is why the license change also happened. We truly believe that the boundaries between what was traditionally marketers and data is coming together. And we feel like, MarTech is so complicated. There's 30,000 products out there. You don't need 50 products to construct a marketing experience. Once you have your data there and you have the capability to send outbound messaging, then that can be so much more streamlined and work together. And that is the direction of travel. We feel like things are bleeding into each other. Data is becoming much more transient. And we feel like that as Microsoft as a whole, we position what our platform can do for you, from your data to being hosted securely, to being accessed securely, and being able to use that into your various roles. And actually now you can just choose to stay in the tool of your choice and not have to move between all the 50 products that you may end up having to sometimes construct to make that happen. So that, I think, hopefully explains why, the real time, the outbound moving to real time, and then also why we've combined the data and the marketing SKUs together.
Okay. And what's the impact on licensing? Is there a change in licensing within marketing or customer insights? Is there a change in licensing for sales, and how this is going to work?
So for the marketing product, traditionally you would buy those two products separately, but now it's only available as a combined SKU. So when you buy the base, you get a base level for both capabilities. Of course, we understand if customers already have a CDP, already have an outbound marketing kind of capability. So even if they buy the base, which gives them both, they can choose to only scale up one side. So if they already have, marketing capabilities and just need a CDP, they can just scale the volume of profiles they need to do the data analysis, and vice versa as well. So, but again, like if you buy the combined SKU, you have the base capability for both. So if customers want to experiment with the other side, that is also available for them.
Okay, understood. And then from a sales point of view, and Copilot, what's changing around the licensing there? Because I think there's some changes in the licensing with Copilot, what's included and what's then you have to put on top. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. So, and I probably should mention, so the Copilot functionalities in customer insights or marketing, they come for free. So, and that's a general rule that if there is any Copilot or generative capability sitting or interface within our Dynamics suite, that comes to our Dynamics customers for free. And that is the same for the sales piece as well. So if you are our Dynamics Sales Enterprise and above customers, you actually get the Copilot interface within Dynamics Sales for free. Now, where there is additional license implication is if you want to start syncing that with your Outlook and Teams and your what's coming out as well, the Word and Excel kind of capabilities. There's really cool stuff there. So, I mean, I talked about like in Outlook, syncing the data, drafting sales-oriented emails. You mentioned Teams, right? Conversational intelligence, where we can pull competitive analysis or opportunities into your Teams meeting as you're having a conversation with your customers. But the next wave of things are, using Word to bring in your sales data to create prep and RFP responses. Like, how crazy is that to use their productivity tools to do? And that's what I'm really excited about. Like, a lot of the earlier things are really small improvements, but once we've unlocked that, it could be huge productivity gains. And so that element is licensed. So you'll need what we call a base for the M365 Copilot that gives you basically the whole GPT functionality in Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Teams, and Outlook. And that extra little $20 kind of Copilot for sales on top of the $30 for M365 is what then brings that sales data into your productivity tools. So separate things, right? So if you are our Dynamics customers, you get anything interfaced within Dynamics for free. But if you want to kind of unleash that power onto all of the M365 productivity tools, then there is a license implications on Copilot for sales.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to take that back to our AI advocacy group we've got here, which meets every 2 weeks, and we're talking about all things AI and how obviously it can help drive our efficiency gains. Fantastic. So outside of what you just mentioned there, because you did touch on a few bits that are kind of in the roadmap, what other big things are on the roadmap for customer insights and sales?
I would say, so again, two kind of veins. One is, of course, AI and Copilot. So we love to hear from our early adopters as well, because the roadmap does get influenced by customers that are using it and telling us, email drafting is not enough. I need email summaries, or no, email summaries are enough. I need to actually respond to RFPs. So a lot of the roadmap now is very use case driven, hearing from our early adoption customers. So that's one thing where we encourage people to use it and just tell us what you're doing, because we want to make this as useful as possible for people who actually need to use this in their roles. And the other half is we are continually investing in what is traditionally what you would say sales and marketing capabilities are. So we are still, increasing the throughput or volume that like real-time messages can go through our customer insights, right? That's just infrastructure scaling that we're still doing. We're still expanding on like channels that we can reach out to. On sales side, we are still looking at just normal, how we lift next best actions or how we give out like tasks or activities to customers. So there's still investment into what we call, normal sales and marketing capabilities now. And then there's a huge push for any kind of AI Copilot things that we feel like will help these roles. And that, I think, generally the roadmap is what it looks like, where these two veins are still happening very much in tandem.
Okay, excellent. And so lastly, that's obviously we're talking about the tech itself, but what do you see the future of sales and marketing as a function? From what I'm hearing here, data is king. The more data we can have in one place, the AI can analyze that, and the Copilot can really help bring that data to life. But generally, as a marketing and sales function, what are you seeing as the future?
Yeah, so, and I guess I would also include service as well. So any kind of customer experience engagement function is that, and this isn't actually coming from Microsoft. This is picking a little bit from like my previous experience as a consultant, where previously you would have, head of sales, head of marketing, head of service, but we're now seeing head of customer. And that is not like completely saying, changing people's roles or anything. It's just recognizing the fact that these are all various teams interfacing with the external customer that we want to service, work with, and build relationships with. And so I think that recognition was already made, I would say, from a business perspective, much faster than sometimes the technology does. As Microsoft, the technology was, we have the data together. Please use the data. Please use the data to what those roles need. But with the Copilot capability that's coming out, I think that is truly disruptive in being able to tie in what the business recognized as bringing those functions together, and now what the technology can actually support that kind of the integrations between those teams. So hugely exciting. I see a lot of those functionalities not just bleeding into each other. Sorry, the business teams not only bleeding into each other, but also just collaborating more. And that, just looking at my sales and marketing world, sales are more efficient because they now see what marketing engagement has been done against their same customers. So they can have more pointed conversations, recognizing the journey that the customer already has. And that builds better relationships and probably creates bigger deals, and just much more in touch with the human side of things. Marketers are much more efficient because they now tie in their ROIs with sales deals and etc. So it's always been difficult to attribute, sales back to marketing, but that is now much more cleaner because you can have the data talk to each other and reference the two. And I think those two teams still very much need to exist, but the collaboration, the maybe even creating new roles where you need teams to like work together, and that's hugely exciting. And the technology, I think, is disruptive enough to support those changes.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Actually, I've started to see roles. What's it called? Lead to cash is a role where you're kind of taking that whole customer journey all the way through, from the lead coming in or being found, all the way through to invoicing the customer and cashing, billing the customer. So those kinds of roles exist now, and there's the motion of RevOps as well, which is a similar kind of motion. So it's exciting, and data and AI seem to be at the forefront of it, because the more we know about the customer, the better we can serve them as organisations. So
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Jess, thank you so much for your time today. We look forward to catching up with you soon.
Yeah. Again, thank you for having me and great to chat.
Thank you.
Thank you.